What do you guys think is going to happen? Because it seems like they are going for some grand old trumped up charge of T-wordism, and that just seems excessive, you know? And I love how it exposes the double standard in American society. Um, you know, and a lot of people are making really great content exposing this too. Um, you know, think about people that pew pew schools. Uh, when are they ever charged with T-wordism?
No, they get off.
Yeah. When are they ever sentenced to D-word? You know? It's just a complete, utter double standard, and you know, I like to say it's everywhere. It's everywhere you look, you'll see the contradictions in capitalism, in American society. There are two sets of rules. You know how they say justice is a two-tiered system. There's a separate rules for the rich as for the poor, and you see it playing out. It's so blatant. It's so blatant nowadays. And you know, more so than maybe it's also has to do with my own political awakening, but as well, I feel like there's never been a time in my life where it's been so pronounced. And indeed, you know, you have people that are soaring to ever new heights. You know, we have Elon Musk is now worth close to $500 billion. Nobody's ever been that rich. I mean, it's never been a time where you could say that three people own more wealth and power than 150 million people, or that something like 10 people have more wealth and power than the bottom half of the world population. I mean, we have reached such an excess. All the themes are playing out at a zenith, is how I like to think about it. They've been going on, you know, for so long in the background, but now it's really, they've dialed it up, and it's like for people to not be on a side at this point, or for people to still be apologizing for the system as it is pretty gross, you know, considering everything that's going on. And it would have been gross 20 years ago, you know, think about it now. I just think it's gotten so much worse. And but I'm happy. I'm still like I'm not happy, but like I'm emboldened by the amount of working class actions and strikes, for instance, taking place. And I've been following the Amazon labor union strikes, how they're teaming up with the Teamsters. They've got the backing of the Teamsters, one of the largest unions in the United States. And, you know, we know that a lot of imperceptible quantitative changes is what it takes before a qualitative change is produced. I don't do any more of the Hangover movies. I got tired of it. It just felt like old hat to me. You know, I made a bunch of money doing that. It was all well and good, but that's, you know, that's in the past, okay? So I don't act anymore. I'm all about class conscious content, and trying to educate. Thank you. I appreciate that. It was the role of a lifetime, obviously. And I obviously don't see you guys liking the stream enough, and that's a problem, okay? Remember that your role here in checking into this live stream is to shower me with A, compliments, and B, gifts. And you're all supposed to obviously like a lot of the stream, like, you know, just just keep those thumbs going, okay? What's up? Thank you, Red Like China. Welcome in. What's up, Big Bucks McGee? Thank you for the love. You guys are so nice. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So yeah. But yeah, love you, Rathbone, question mark? You don't know? Are you still trying to figure that out? Like, that puts me in a weird position. You know, now I feel awkward. Am I worried about a TikTok ban? I don't worry about that, no. It was okay. It was supposed to be an exclamation point. Okay, phew. I thought so. I was concerned for a second. Do I know Jonah Hill? Yeah, I actually had dinner with him last night. He sends his love. Thank you, Bernie. What's up, Ace? Pan-Africanism is the future, baby. How am I? I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. I'm doing better than, a lot of people on Earth. So I've got to be very thankful. How are we going to get rid of healthcare insurance? That is a good question. It's a good question. I think we need to exact material power over the economy as workers. I think class-conscious actions, working class actions, are the only thing that can change anything around here. Okay, did I meet Norm Macdonald? Yes, he's my uncle. What are you talking about? Of course. Thank you, Umar. Thank you for all the gifts. Thank you, Ace. You're the title gifter of the stream. Keep it up. Keep at it. You guys are doing great. You're really making me feel the love, and I appreciate that. No war but class war. Yeah, you right. That's another thing we got to focus on. I just did a virtual town hall with Chris Smalls. It was amazing, with a lot of other great people, which, Yvette Baker, Nick Lapara, a few others, but also, a huge honor, okay, is all I can say, because I've been following Chris Small's career, if you could call it that. I mean, the waves that he's been making for the working class, I've been following that story, and very inspired by him. And it was just, we got to talk about the general strike, the importance of striking, and I've been trying to get people to quit their jobs for years, especially through my content, and people make fun of me because I say, just quit your job, okay? Just quit your job. And I know it's kind of silly to say that, it's silly. I'm making a TikTok video, and people made fun of me for saying everybody should just quit their job, but that's literally a strike, though. You know what I mean? It's not that I'm telling, and in the video I'm basically telling people that if all people quit their jobs at the same time, obviously I'm just calling for a strike. It's nothing new, but that would be transformative. And I also just, I've also quit my job. I've quit a corporate job before, and I've quit a full-time corporate job. And, I've been a gig worker for so many years, and trying to, make ends so many years, and trying to, make ends meet through, playing music and teaching and et cetera, et cetera. But, I know what it's like to walk away from a salary, and it's not like I'm obviously, I don't have children, I don't have family like that. I don't have dependents like that. Thank you, Comrade Batty, for all the gifts. And so, it's not like I know everybody's individual capacity, or just, I can uncritically say that everybody just needs to quit their jobs and blah, 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 but I think everybody has a capacity to not, lend your consent to your exploitation, okay? In so many words, there's things that you can do, and, it might not be quit your job tomorrow, but, maybe it could be that you, start talking to your coworkers, or you join a union, or you just become more class conscious in what you do, whatever it is, whatever your job is. And remember that the most essential thing in our society is what you do for the economy. That's the most important, think about it. When you meet someone for the first time, what is the first question you get asked? And what is the first question that you ask? What is it? What is the first question we ask any stranger when we want to get to know them? Can somebody tell me in either chats right now? What do you do? That's right. What do you do? And you could finish the question with, what do you do for a living? What do you do means, what do you do for the economy? That's implied, right? Well, how do you meet your material needs? How do you get your material needs met? And that is why we understand that, our relationship to the economy is essential. That's because, whether we know it or not, that's what we project and that's what we live by. So, it's the economy that is crucial. And I'm really trying to get people to understand that, it's you can't have a political democracy without an economic democracy. And structural power comes from our workers' ability to produce or not produce, to work or to strike. We make the economy go. We can affect the ability for the capitalists to accumulate profits. We can inhibit that, right? So, thank you, Rose is lit up, and thank you, Spin Doctor. Thank you so much. Ace. All right. I love all these gifts. And look, we just went over 10K on the stream. I mean, that's healthy. That's nice. Let's get some more people. Share it. Share the link. Share the stream. Let people know this is a positive place and a place of loving and acceptance. And we love you, okay? And live, laugh, love is what I have embroidered on all my throw pillows in my living room. I love life, and I laugh. Did I get banned? I did. I did get banned. But I'm all better now, so we're not going to talk about that because that's a dark past experience that has no bearing on our reality today, okay? Yes, that's right. You moved into a van. Wow, that sounds rough. God bless you, because if you're living in a van, I mean, and I know a lot of people, you're not the first person to tell me that you're living out of your car, I mean, that seems to be a growing trend in late stage capitalism in the United States. We have something like 75% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And that same study that was done in 2021 was 60%. So it's the conditions of the working class are continuing to erode. It is only a matter of time before these imperceptible and incalculable quantitative changes that have been happening below the surface of society will erupt into a qualitative shift that transcends our political economy. I truly believe that. I think that history bears this out repeatedly. And I also know, logically speaking, that capitalism is an unsustainable system, and it doesn't take a genius to realize that a system based on the principle of infinite accumulation in a world of finite resources is a death cult, okay? It's a death cult, and we're headed for disaster. So we have to rise, and that's what's going to happen. I don't subscribe to that style of thinking, Sam. I think if everybody thought like that, then we wouldn't have abolished slavery. We wouldn't have abolished the monarchy. We wouldn't have advanced civil rights and civil liberties. There would be no social movements, successful social movements. So, no, I reject your apathetic doomerism, and I will not give credence to that kind of thinking, okay? That's right, let's get me to 20K. Remember that this stream is going to the moon. Am I gonna mention the banks? I mean, what do you want to know? Let's talk about it. Are you gonna mention it? Who's gonna talk? Are you gonna talk? Let's talk about the banks. Wow, thank you so much, Ace. Title gifter. You're still soaring in the atmosphere, in the stratosphere, because you are outpacing all other gifters in the stream, putting them all to shame. Okay? Everyone else is an embarrassment besides Ace. And Comrade Batty, of course. Well, we knew that. When will he mention potatoes? Somebody says. That, that's crazy, because that's you're right. I mean, every stream I always mention potatoes, and I hadn't done that yet. So that's wild. Free Israel from the world map. That's kind of funny. It's just what I do. We own some get money shit here, baby. That's right. Doge, baby. Crypto to the top. Department of Government Efficiency. I hope y'all didn't sell your NVIDIA stock options, though. No, of course not. We're holding strong. Holding Caulfield. Thank you, Andy. Thank you for your illuminating comment of Hawk Tua. Really great stuff. Thank you for furthering the conversation. Hello, Scottish socialist. Are you from Scotland? That's pretty cool. I've never been to Scotland. You gotta blame the British who allowed the Nakba. Well, yeah. I mean, the British Empire is created the Zionist movement's wet dream. Also, Rathbone, I've wondered if you have any thoughts on climate change. Well, of course. That's an existential threat. That's one of the two existential threats that face the human race. The other is nuclear winter. But, climate change is a consequence of capitalism. And, I don't know. What do you want to know about it? I mean, it's all bad. There's definitely people that can speak on it better than I can. Yep, the Arctic is melting. The Beaufort Sea is melting. And we're already in some irreversible... I'm trying so hard not to curse. The effects of climate change are already irreversible. Like, we've already entered the point of no return, It's just a matter of, like, how bad it's going to get. My opinions on Donald Trump: he's another agent of corporate class warfare. Yeah, please don't curse. Okay, I won't. You're right. I shouldn't do that. 30K, baby. That's right, Mean Asia. Did you change your name? I know. We just watched on stream, we watched Bernie Sanders talk about, he issued a statement to the American people about how irresponsible Elon Musk is in enforcing this government shutdown. And, he's basically singling out this event, like, how preposterous. Can you believe this is the billionaires are taking over and that we're in an oligarchy? And it's like, yeah. Yes, this is Alan from Hangover. Thank you, Venomous. Are you new here? We just got through talking about this, okay? Oligarchy is the combination of garlic and olive oil. You get an oligarchy. That's the second time I told this joke, and you still haven't laughed. Nobody's laughed. I guess it's not a good joke. I should just give it up. Opinions on Assad's fall. I think it's a bad situation made worse. I mean, my opinion is that look at what Israel, the United States, and Turkey are doing to Syria. It's a win for imperialism. It's a win for the West. And at least the short term, that's what I see. The billionaires. Yes. But he's just, Bernie is just explaining, capitalism as if it's a bug in the system. It's as if all these things, look at how much worse it's going to get. It's like, Bernie, it's already worse, Well, I didn't say Assad was an angel, did I? And I will leave that for the Syrian people to decide. I didn't live under Assad's rule. I'm telling you from the vantage point of the principal contradiction that is present in the world today, which is U.S. imperialism versus indigenous nationalism in the global South. I think that the fall of Assad is materially amounting to a win for the advancement of U.S. interests and destabilization in the Middle East. And I think that is borne out by what is happening as you see Israel creating a new buffer zone, invading more land in the Golan Heights, Turkey carving out the top part of Syria for itself, the United States, which already owns a third of all Syrian territory, now moving in to establish more control over the oil reserves. So it's a bad look, okay? I'm sorry, but there's no moral purity that we can hang or that we can attribute to the opposition to imperialism. And there's no moral purity to be attributed to imperialism. So let's leave our ideals at the dinner table, at the kids' table, okay? We don't live in an ideal world. The opposition to imperialism is not some ideal entity, but we live with the material reality. And I think what has happened to Syria is really bad, and it's gotten worse. Yeah, what if it was just imperialist light? It's like diet imperialism. Would that be okay? That would be a win, right? Crypto yacht parties soon. Yes. Yes, Ace. Are you inviting me? You better invite me. I'll be there. I'm always happy when there's a strike going on too, I have to tell you. I have to tell you, it's a good day. It's a good day. I'm the life of the party. Thank you. You can't forget the life of the party, obviously. That'd be me. I'm such a party animal, you have no idea. I love to party. I'm the biggest party goer. I should be at a rave right now. What am I doing? I'm late. I really like the music and the dancing. And the unts. You partied once? That's pretty cool, Johan. That's really cool, man. You sound like a cool dude, bruh. I wish, all the unions were a little more ruffian, if you catch my drift, okay? The boots and cats. I don't get it. I think of Puss in Boots. You know that character? There's a cat in boots. Our society has become a little soft. Well, you don't say, Linda. All these woke cultural Marxists, of course, invading our institutions, trying to misgender me. Boots and cats is how you practice beatboxing. Boots and cats and boots and cats and... Oh, I get it now. Thank you, Cherry. Cherry Babe for the win. That's right, the woke mind virus is real, folks. Sam says I actually look right-wing. I didn't know that a right-wing has a look, but okay. That sounds like a speculative values-based judgment, and you're going by vibes, and that's cool. Actually, I've never really been told that. Most people say that I look left-wing because I've got long hair. They are a menace to our society as a whole because we are a whole LOI. I don't know what that means. Citizens United, really? I know, I'm a spitting image of Ben Shapiro, for sure. Interacting definitely helps the algo. Liking, sending me all of your money. Also, sending all the crypto that you have. There we go. Thank you. Thank you, Free Palestine, for joining the team. Number 94 with a bullet. Oh, overturned Citizens United was already taken. Okay. Okay, sure. Sure thing. Hi, Kate and Coda. Welcome in, both of you. Hello, Hannah. Hey, David, thank you for liking the live. Mrs. Huff, thank you so much for liking the live. And thank you to somebody else. I couldn't see it. That's right, we're here. It's a secret society. I have completely neglected my YouTube and Twitch chat, by the way. TikTok, you should be grateful of that. Look at that, a steady stream of hearts just liking the stream. That's so nice. I do not have a hippie look. I don't like hippies. Okay. I really dislike hippies. You feel like you haven't seen my videos in forever. It's probably true because I'm shadow banned, baby. Big time. And banned outright, okay? And it's tough. It's been tough to try to keep this thing going, you know? But thank you, Mrs. Huff, for sharing the live. Thank you, Lunarsk. I don't know if I'm killing it, but I thank you for that. Eric Cartman hates hippies too. Yeah. Thank you, Johan, for the crypto. I appreciate that. You know, this is why, you know what, Twitch and YouTube, this is why we have to go to TikTok, because you guys don't send me subs and gifts, you know, except for some of you. I'm not saying some of you don't, but it's really just, it's the lack of respect for me. You just did? Oh, okay, Cherry, thank you. I'm sorry. See, I knew I was gonna screw up, but thank you, Cherry Babe Bomb. Thank you for the sub bomb. Thank you for the subbies. Oh shit. Remember, we can't curse on TikTok. That's a big no-no. We're only here to thank you, Cherry. Jennifer, you're broke? Get out. Get out. Brokey. We got a Brokey in our midst. Turn and face the wall. Okay, we got to 30K. What are we talking about tonight? There's no set agenda. I was talking about the Amazon strikes. I was talking about Luigi Mangione a little bit. That's right, I only accept the 1% in chat. That's true. Luigi is innocent. I think so. I think you're right. Even if he's guilty. If loving Luigi is wrong, I don't want to be right. I know, and I love how everything they try and do to paint this guy like a villain, he just like becomes more lovable. That's what is pretty funny to me. Like they paraded him down that pier like he was Hannibal Lecter. It only invigorated me, folks. What you laughing at?
Just staring at the comment.
What comment? The comment that says I'm morally depraved?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it's true. It's very true. It does fit me. Because if there's one thing about me that you should know, I'm morally depraved. Yeah, they were saying it's for his own safety. Yeah, right. I didn't see a bulletproof vest on him, did you? Dibnit says cry about it, Tim. I don't know, are you crying about it? Can you cry harder a little bit? By the way, I'm not stressed. Do I seem stressed? Does anybody else think I'm stressed right now? What about me screams stressed? By the way, Tim, we might have to block these people that just to make sure, because they will totally take every advantage of. They have to. They have to be a troll. Thank you, ex-wage slave. I appreciate that, and congratulations from getting out of the rat race. Okay. My general vibe, my face, and my voice makes you think that I'm stressed. I'm the most chill person, okay? I'm the most chill dude. I mean, wouldn't you guys say? I mean, I am a political agitator, but that comes with the territory. That doesn't mean that I'm stressed. I love when people are like, you're always complaining. Like, why are you, and you're like, oh, you're triggered. It's like, I'm trying to agitate the language of agitation and frustration and urgency. So, and also when I would do streams, when I would do live streams where I'm talking about GAZA, and I would get a lot of ZIOs, and they would be like, oh, you're so pressed. Like they would like laugh because I was like mad. Which it's like, yeah, you should be upset that there are people being SLAUGHTERED with your money and in your name. You know what I mean? How dare we complain about, yeah, exactly, Sam. I'm a messenger. Well, we all are messengers to some extent, I mean, I'm just communicating things that made me think think. That's it. People educated me, and then I wanted to take that knowledge and then make someone feel the way that I had been made to feel. That's all that is. Nothing that I say is new. Nothing that I say is original. And that's the point, is that I'm speaking about commonalities. I'm speaking about common ideas. I'm speaking about class values, principles. None of this stuff is new. It's been thought about ad nauseum. All the problems of the world have already been hashed out and theoretically solved. We have just not been privy to that information because we live in a class-based society and the people at the top don't want us to know these things. So that's the things that we learn. We are indoctrinated with the cultural ideas of capitalism, It's really not, they've really just stolen those ideas, because that's what capitalists do. They steal everything. Not only have they stolen land, resources, labor, they steal ideas. Not only have they colonized land, resources, labor, they've colonized ideas, colonized our brains. So we tend to associate all the good things about the working class, about labor, about society, with capitalism itself. But that capitalism is none of those things. Capitalism is literally just a system of ownership. It's just a way of organizing what we've always had, which is the surplus value created by workers, among other things. All these spontaneous connections, all these associations that occur within a society have nothing to do with capitalism, but capitalism has usurped them, or taken ownership of them, privatized them, and made profit off of them. And it's literally a parasitic relationship, So I find it funny when people say, well, how would communism work? Well, I think if you want to understand how communism would work, let's understand how capitalism works. Let's rectify what we have now, which is an exploitative, parasitic political economy. And removing the parasites is how communism works. It's just, as Comrade Batty says, the only thing you can't do in communism is exploit people. We're just removing that parasitic relationship. It's like, if we didn't have landlords, would we still have housing? Well, yeah, because landlords don't provide housing. Architects, engineers, carpenters, maintenance workers, contractors provide housing. But it has nothing to do with landlord. Even the term landlord is exploitative. A lord of the land? Really? How do we accept that? How is that? If you're in the ruling class, why would you try to pump that word to the public? That's just, you're telling on yourself at that point. Call it something else. Call them butterflies. Don't call them landlords. Pretty soon the public's going to catch on to what you're doing. It's all a grift, okay? That's the thing. It's a scam economy. You're being scammed. Whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not, you cannot escape that fact. And the way I've tried to live my life is just to try not to be scammed as much. Recognize that I am going to be scammed no matter what, but where I can claw back some of that scam, take back some of that value, I'm going to do that. And that's true within firms, within capitalist firms, and within businesses themselves. There's always, between owners and workers, there's always that tug and what is the pull and push sort of struggle, the tug of war. That's what I was looking for. There's always a tug of war battle going on between capital and labor. Capitalists are always trying to take the surplus value from laborers. Laborers are always trying to figure out ways to take it back. Everybody's fighting for the surplus value. But there's only one class of people that actually creates the surplus value. So morally speaking, capitalism has no leg to stand on, because it's literally violating that principle of you should get the fruits of your labor. That's a principle, right? Workers, people that work are entitled to the fruits of their labor. Well, that's not true in capitalism. In fact, it's the opposite. It's people that don't work that are entitled to the fruits of your labor. And lo and behold, when you hear that, you immediately think of socialism, right? Because it's like capitalists have told you that socialists are the ones that are lazy, that want to live off the government dole. That's not true. Capitalists live off the government dole. They live off the public. They are vampiric, vulturistic, parasitic class of people. So that's all that struggle between capital and labor is always happening. And think about a technological company. Let me think about this for a second. Within like, to take an example of one particular corporation, like it could be Apple. They are always trying to steal the surplus value away from their workers, and at times corporations like Apple have to update their system, or they have to update their infrastructure because workers have caught on to what they're doing and have found ways to skirt the system, or think about Amazon. Like, they're always trying to wreak out more time from their workers. Every second counts. They're forcing their workers to go pee in bottles because they're more efficient that way. A trip to the bathroom is like, oh, Blake went to the bathroom. He's been gone for 15 minutes. Well, looks like we're gonna have to dock his pay. They're monitoring you. The surveillance of it all. I mean, that's another way of keep making sure that you're getting the surplus value, the most out of the worker, while giving them the least. And that meme, it was made like hundreds of years ago, or not hundreds of years, but 100 years ago practically. That meme of the capitalist squishing the worker, and it's like a, what do you call those things that just smash you from the top and the bottom? The bottom, it says low wages, and the top says like high cost, or inflation. Right, so they're making it more. Everything costs more, and they're paying you less, and it's just squeezing everything they can out of you, and that is capitalism. Did I see the rich old man making fun of us? I have not, but I mean, that's capitalism for you too. And they're blatantly open about it all. They're you can pull up Warren Buffett and what's his name, Charles Munger, who's dead now. Thank God, rest in peace, rest in piss. They're basically saying the reason the capitalism works is because it requires young, able-bodied people to work, and if they don't, they are due a fair amount of misery. That's what makes the system work. That's literally Charlie Munger. That's his quote for why capitalism works. And they'll every now and then they'll tell you exactly what they're doing. There's always mask off moments. It's very much in your face. Free enterprise is communism. Free enterprise is socialism. Free enterprise, I mean, anything with free next to it, I automatically grow suspicious. Like free enterprise, I think free market. I think these terms are capitalist coded. So I don't know what you mean by that. Communism is zero currency. Communism technically is just a classless, stateless society. It's the abolition of class and state. It's the abolition of private property. Remember, Marx said that the idea behind communism could be summed up in 3 words: abolish private property. I was going to say abolition of private property, but that's 4. It was abolish private property. So once you abolish private property, you necessarily abolish class, because the way that class is sustained is through private property. It's the privatization of land and resources. And when you abolish class, you no longer need the state, because remember, the state's main function is to preserve class antagonism. That's the reason the state exists, is for one class to commandeer and funnel through all of its interests and the preservation of its own power. So a certain class uses the state to suppress other aspects, other groups, other parts of the population, or in this case, the working class. That's right, that's private property and not personal property. It's an important distinction. I think, we have all heard growing up in the United States about how communism is when they're going to make you live in bunk beds and everyone gets the same, and you got to share toothbrushes, and everybody is equally poor, is basically what they say, which is funny because everyone is equally poor in capitalism. Capitalism thrives on poverty. But there's a lot of straw men arguments made for the promotion of capitalism and the negation of communism. And all I want to say is that a better world is possible. I don't think I'm a crazy person to think that. And I think also that if you do believe that human nature is greedy and selfishness, then why on earth would you support a political economy that mandates greed, that reinforces and rewards sociopathy? So, look, if you're yawning, C, here's the thing about C's comment. He leaves a bunch of laugh emojis and yawn emojis. But what you're really communicating there is that you're a passive-aggressive troll because you don't know how to express yourself with words and articulate your point when you are confronted with ideas that are antithetical to your thinking, but you don't know how to counter them. So all you have to do is do the typical ZIO response, which is just to say nuh-uh, and make a fool out of yourself, because you can't rise to that level of actually articulating ideas. So you have to make passive-aggressive emojis as your response, and that's really a big tell on your behavior, okay? Because you can't contend with what I'm saying. Thank you, TDR. I appreciate that. Thank you for the gifts, Comrade Batty and Ace. And, oh, look, Tiny Balls left a turd. Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Tiny Balls. I'm a fan of your work. You're doing great. You're crushing it out there. I would mute and then also block. I would anybody that gives weird vibes, we just can't risk it at this point. We got to block any of the trolls, anyone that says anything. Let them have their second so where I can react to it. That's cool. But then block those people, because it's just not worth it. Okay, because then I'll get a strike or something. They'll keep mass reporting me because they let's be honest, these people have no lives. Okay, you must be pretty comfortable in your own life, or uninspired, or both, to where you have the time to go and troll people's live streams. That's like an awfully privileged take right there, to a use of your time. And it probably means that you are vibrating at a frequency that's really low. You probably have no real self-love or self-esteem. You don't think really highly of yourself. So what you do is you project that onto other social situations, okay? Because that's all you see. That's all you think about in your own mind. That's what you project, okay? But we, as critical thinkers, we don't vibrate at that frequency. We're higher up. We're vibrating at a better frequency that's more constructive, more productive. Thank you for the Elvis thing gift. Appreciate that, Tongan Tarot. So it's a weak vibration. And it doesn't really do anything. Spiritual. Yeah, that's right. All in one sentence. Jagex. Thank you, OR. has small brain, not his fault. Ate too many Fruit Loops. Thank you, Ace. You're crushing it with the gifts. I really appreciate that. Everyone just start their own business. Look, if you don't like capitalism, fine, okay? You have a problem with being exploited? Oh, look, I get so triggered when they...
What?
No, nobody did, but every now and then, because the live is so long, TikTok will make me solve a little puzzle
Oh,
to keep it going, because they want to make sure that I don't know, maybe they think I'm AI or something. Like this isn't real. I forgot what I was talking about. Damn, it was really good too. I heard his little ego. I know that. I think they're gone now. Which we should. Yeah, the CAPTCHA. That's right. Can you build iPhones in communism? The short answer is yes. The long answer is that the question presumes that in capitalism you make iPhones. And I disagree with that premise. I don't believe that capitalism has anything to do with the creation of the iPhone. I think if it wasn't for socialist style organization of the economy, there would be no iPhone. And without labor, there would be no iPhone. Without labor, there would be no society. So it's really just like, without labor, can capitalism, is there a society without labor? Well, of course not. In Marxism, we use Android. Well, look, it's a whole argument that I've gone over extensively on my page, but this whole idea is that, the meme is capitalism is when iPhone, and think I've thoroughly dismantled it, as has, other people, before me. I think it's a straw man argument, but I just say that, oh, well, in communism, can we create the iPhone? Well, you're supposing that in capitalism, you're supposing that capitalism had anything to do with the creation of the iPhone. And we have to remind people that capitalism is literally just a system of private ownership of public resources. So it's immoral. It's illegitimate, just based on that fact alone. Capitalism is the private ownership of public resources. Socialism is the public ownership of public resources. What sounds more just to you? You have come to believe that a private investor class of a selective, privileged few up in the top echelons of the population are the only ones that can create our society, are the only ones responsible for innovation and progression. And it's not true. It's, in fact, the opposite is true. A job is a form of slavery. I would contend that too. People think I'm crazy for saying that. Wage slavery is a form of slavery. Yes, I do believe that to be true, and it is now, yes. Yeah, iPhones are built in non-capitalist countries. We just send them the blueprint. And even the blueprint was, socially funded. The innovations, as I've said in previous videos, the innovations created to make the iPhone were all publicly funded in government labs, research developed, innovated in government labs with government scientists and engineers. And the grift is that when that innovation became marketable, it was transferred. The property rights the intellectual property rights of that innovation was patented, copyrighted, and transferred to private ownership, who then marketed it back to the public, who paid for it in the first place. Now, if we have anything resembling a capitalist economy, doesn't it make sense that the people that invested in something, when that something became profitable, those people that invested in it would see a return on their investment, otherwise known as an ROI? Well, yes, you would say. That is capitalistic, right? But that's not what happens in capitalism. In capitalism, the public that funded the innovations developed in the technology industry are given to private corporations. And so we are double charged for the thing that we made possible in the first place. How ridiculous. Am I right? Who thinks I'm wrong here? Who thinks I'm wrong? We shouldn't be paying for internet. We created the internet. Shkavova says I'm wrong, but doesn't offer any counter. No one, people that say that I'm wrong don't really have a argument normally. Or if they do, it's a straw man. But it's a typical ZIO or argument where they just say, nuh-uh, you're wrong. Sky Daddy said so in the Miracle Book. Thank you. Conversation over. We are the Choded P-hole, and this is our poopy land. Nuh-uh, go home. Yeah, I'd love to hear the argument. I really would, Shkavova. But they're probably just a Trevova troll. Capitalism is an economic system where private individuals and organizations own and control, yes, public resources, land, and labor. Yes. It's just a way of organizing an economy. That's all it is. There's only, in our class-based society where you have owners and workers, currently today, there are only two ways where you can organize an economy. You can organize an economy where the majority controls the minority of owners, or you can have the minority of owners controlling the majority of workers. So if you're a worker, it makes sense that you should believe that the majority should have ownership over the means of production and the value that the working class creates. But if you don't, if you're a capitalist, I would understand that you would want the owners to take charge. But if you're not a capitalist and you're simping for capitalists and capitalism, then I think that you are confused. Exploiters and the exploited, yes. My favorite Karl Marx quote. I really like labor is the eternal nature-imposed necessity for sustaining life. I like that one. I remember that one. Or that.
Represent yourself, you'll be
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. If you don't represent yourself, you will be represented. Now, that's pretty good. In other words, these decisions aren't going away just because you decide not to think about them. In other words, just because the capitalist wants to deregulate, make government small, doesn't mean that the decisions or the problems go away. It just means that they're transferred away from the government into the hands of private individuals named capitalists, Free enterprise is freedom. Well, that is big if true. That is big if true. I mean, you can say that, and you could sound like Milton Friedman, but that doesn't mean that it's true. Like, people say free market is freedom. Well, what is the free market? Is the free market in the room with us now? Is the free enterprise in the room with us right now? What can we do to kick the woke out of their comfort while they are all afraid to miss work. You know, it's a question that keeps me up at night, I'll be honest. But I think there's a lot of working class actions going on right now. You see workers striking at Starbucks. You see them striking at Amazon. There's a lot of vitriol fomenting in the working class right now. People are upset. We speak to the material conditions of people. We don't focus on cultural divisions. Those are ancillary and less important. Not to say that they don't exist, just saying that they are less important, and a lot of the division is caused by the class war in and of itself. So we need to focus on what our socioeconomic conditions are. Remember that everything is defined, your entire identity is defined primarily by your relationship to the economy, to the productive forces in society. And that influences everything you think about, what is possible in society. It determines your values, okay? And, you know, I think we need to educate more people to this, okay? That's not fighting capitalism. Well, you know, I think striking is a working class action that is fighting capitalism. It's definitely fighting capitalism. When you like, you know, think about what the Houthis are doing in the Red Sea. You know, affecting the capitalists' ability to accumulate profits is fighting capitalism. Because what is capitalism? It's the accumulation of private profits by private individuals. And fighting capitalism is literally, you can fight capitalism by doing nothing. You can literally just stop working, and that will be fighting capitalism, because capitalism requires your labor. So if you don't give your labor, then you are fighting capitalism. You know, it's the one crucial strategic power that we have over the economy, is that we are the producers. So I would disagree. I think strike actions are fighting capitalism, and we need more labor institutions. We need more, you know, you need institutions to fight institutions. You cannot fight them on an individual basis, you know. I think that seems pretty logical. We need strong labor institutions, whether they're unions or universities, et cetera, or workers' councils or worker-owned businesses. But there needs to be a more working class actions that are exacting power over the economy, structural power over the economy. That's right, go Amazon workers. I just think it stems from the economy. It starts with the economy. You know, economy influences everything. So if we have an economic democracy, we stand a chance of having a political democracy. But we can't have a political democracy without an economic democracy. Right now, capitalism is a fascist economy. It requires fascism in the economy. And fascism, what? Yeah. Do I want to stop? Yeah. Fascism doesn't mean gas chambers. It's a specific hierarchy, a way of organizing resources. Okay? The corporate hierarchy is fascistic by nature. There's a few at the top that make all the decisions for all the plebes at the bottom. That's inherently unjust. Okay? So thank you for hanging out with me. I'm gonna sign off there. I feel like we really connected, okay? I could see it in your eyes, like you were, yeah. So I feel like this was a good time we shared. And I want to thank you all for sharing your gifts with me. And you know, I hope you, wherever you may find yourself out in the world, that you're having a good time. Have a good day, night, morning, etc. Thank you, Angelica, ex-wage slave, and everybody else out there, okay? Whether you agree with what I'm saying or not, thank you for giving me your time. And thank you, Landlord Forever. Thank you. Although I disagree with your position, but I thank you for your gifts. Oh, look at that. Comrade Batty firing out so many gifts, just like one after the other, rapid fire. That's amazing. Thank you so much. I will, the check's in the mail, by the way. Thank you, David. All right, guys, I love you, okay? I've got to go. Your mom just called me, so I have to go talk to her for a little bit. So thank you, guys. I'll see you next time. Appreciate you. Bye for now.